In connection with the increase in the defense budget for FY 2024 last year by the Senate led by Senator Juan Miguel Zuba, there is also an increase in the Philippine Coast Guard budget totaling 2.8 billion Philippine pesos will be allocated to the PCG on top of the approved budget they will receive for FY 2025 of 2.5 billion Philippine pesos will be used for the initial payment of 3 new offshore patrol vessels to be acquired from an Australian shipbuilder. The Philippines plans to look into purchasing 2 Guardian-class patrol vessels from Australia, which will further enhance the PCG's capabilities. The Philippine government is also acquiring 40 locally built patrol boats to support the PCG's maritime defense and rescue operations. These acquisitions collectively aim to enhance the operational capabilities of the PCG, particularly in maritime security, law enforcement, search and rescue, and environmental protection within its maritime jurisdiction. 3 new offshore patrol vessels to be acquired from Australian shipbuilder Austal and will be built at their Balamban, Cebu facility. The first vessel will be delivered within 18 months after the issuance of the notice to proceed following the usual Philippine government procurement. Max Defense Philippines believes that Austal is ready to start the project immediately once awarded to them due to the availability of a ready design that they can use. We believe that Austal will reuse their original 83M offshore patrol vessel proposal submitted to the Philippine Navy a few years ago, which was later rejected due to cost escalation. The design is now being marketed by Austal as the 83-meter offshore patrol. Austal will most likely scale down the design by removing Navy-specific weapons and sensor systems such as the 76mm and 30mm guns and surface air search radar and replacing them with more Coast Guard-specific systems. Based on our calculations, 2.5 billion Philippine pesos is enough for a 15% down payment for the 3 vessels, which we estimate to cost less than 17 billion Philippine pesos. This is a good start for the Philippine Coast Guard to build a larger fleet of vessels, preferably locally built, and increase the number to meet its target. These details reflect PCG's strategy to modernize its fleet with new construction and to accelerate capability enhancement by purchasing pre-owned equipment. Senator J.V. Ejercito confirmed that PCG is exploring the acquisition of second-hand assets from various countries to rapidly enhance its maritime capabilities. Potential sources for these second-hand assets include France, Spain and Japan. This is aimed at enhancing PCG's presence and capabilities in the West Philippine Sea. It is worth noting that one of the Australian shipbuilders headquartered in Australia was supposed to deliver an offshore patrol vessel built at its Balamban shipyard in Cebu, and the design in the Philippines was not pushed forward after the cost escalated due to inflation and rising cost of shipbuilding materials. The armed forces of the Philippines and its modernization efforts are now in Horizon 3, where various projects are being planned or in the process of being realized, one of which belongs to the Philippine Navy, which is looking to acquire a platform capable enough to be a deterrent, such as submarines and vessels that will replace some of the old World War II era vessels, such as the off-road OPV beach patrol vessels, whose program requires at least 6 units. Now, the plan for the offshore patrol vessels has recently become more known in the mainstream media when the National Defense Secretary, Mr. Delin Lorenzano, surprisingly revealed that the Philippine Navy will be acquiring many of the operations. From that perspective alone, this first announcement came with both enthusiasm and trepidation, in the sense that while this may mean more pride for the Filipino workers in the shipyard, where they will be building the operations for the country and its national interest, it may also be the case that the desire of the Department of Defense to carry out this project is still a good thing, considering that this is one of the plans that must be prioritized by the Philippine Navy, as it will determine the patrol capabilities of the Navy fleet in the future. As discussed earlier, these vessels will be made of steel and will be manufactured locally through their shipyard in Balamban, Cebu. We shall see if this materializes. The role that the supplier intended on their website is not only limited to maritime patrol roles such as anti-piracy and anti-smuggling operations in areas like Sulu or interdiction in the open seas in areas like the West Philippine Sea. These locally made patrol vessels are also useful for search and rescue as well as humanitarian assistance and disaster response in case of disasters. In this project, Austal submitted its design derived from the Royal Australian Navy Cape-class patrol vessel and the Australian Border Force equipped with the Armadale-class patrol vessel currently on patrol duty, where some of these vessels are participating in the joint maritime patrol in the waters of Zamboanga City, although they are derived from the Cape-class patrol vessel. The patrol vessel offered by Austal will be larger with a length of 80 m, still used to build the hull and get a helicopter deck and null sea liaison ship control system and pilotage control technology. As a note, the Cape-class patrol vessels serving with the Australian Navy, this system can be run according to the program with the hull, therefore it might be good to see more of these developments, as these vessels will determine the Navy's capability to patrol as well as ensure the presence of these vessels in the waters of the region that needs it, thus enhancing security in the Philippine maritime region.